Hi, before we dig into chapters, let's start with the introduction and setting context of this course. So, first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Rahul Jha. I am an IT professional, blogger, and a research scholar. I will be your host for this course. I write articles, tips, tutorials, and also upload videos on dotnetconcept.com. You can just go through this website and get relevant information regarding upcoming technologies. You can also connect with me on my Facebook page, LinkedIn profile, Twitter handle, and also on YouTube channel. I will share link in later videos. So let's start with the course. So in uh, this course is mainly focused for beginner and intermediate level of student. So in this course, you can learn basic concept of Pythons, then working with variable and data types, printing output, implementing condition using if-else statement, then looping using for and while loop. We will also perform some arithmetic operations, and later we will see creating and calling methods in Python program. We will also learn working with arrays and list, perform some different operation on list. Then uh, we will learn how to work with ranges, then tuple, set, and dictionaries. We will see how to work with packages in Python, how we can import package, and how we call the package, call the methods of that package. Then we will also create custom package. Then in later part we will work with graphs as well and many more things. This is not the only thing. We will learn many more things in this course. For this course, we are using Google Colab for practicing Python programs. So we will introduce Google Colab as well. So I think we are good to go here. So let's start. In this video, you will learn about Google Colab, like what is Google Colab and why we use Google Colab, how this came into this picture. So let's see what is Google Colab. Google Colab or Google Collaboratory is a research project created by Google which is used to help enthusiasts and researchers to create machine learning based projects. So this provides an environment which needs no setup and things to run uh, your Python programs. So you can say that this is a cloud-based environment which is used by many researchers and uh, enthusiasts to learn Python or to learn machine learning kind of things. Google Colab has many features like it supports CPU as well as GPU, which can be used for complex classification and manipulation. For complex training of your uh, machine learning based algorithms. So it also provides inbuilt libraries of Python. So you need not to install any Python libraries, and it's a cloud-based environment, so you can use it anywhere. You just create your project here, and you can just use anywhere with the help of your Google account, and it is very fast as it has a good amount of RAM. Then it provide you GPU facilities which can be used for complex programming and all things. So overall you can say that Google Colab is the best platform that can be used for machine learning, artificial intelligence, and also to learn Python. So in this course, we are going to use Google Colab for all the practical sessions that in Python. So I think let's start with it. So let's open browser and let me write Google. Then you should be logged in with your Google account. So as you can see here that I have already logged in with it. So now search Google Colab, and here you can see the first link is collab.research.google.com. So let's open it. So here you can see that we Google Colab is open. Okay, and now we have already we have created one Python notebook. So let's open it. So you can create any, I mean, your own Python notebook from here. I mean, I'm just using it. And also I want to just highlight it that you have two options like new Python 3 notebook and Python 2 notebook. So I am using Python 3 notebook here. Okay, so I opened a new notebook. So let me rename this first of all. Let me write uh, practice Python. Okay, now you can see here that we have practice Python notebook. You can also see here like there is an option to connect, and we will tell you about this in next session. So here we have few options, then we have code, then we have text. So we will all talk about this in next session. So I think we are good to go here, and thank you for this. In this video we will learn about variables and data type. So in last video you saw that how Google Colab works, like how we can set up Google Colab, and we created a practice Python notepad notebook that is here. So we have different options like connect, and we also saw that like we have code, then we have text. So in this video we will just do a walkthrough of these things. Okay, so let me add a code first. Okay, we can add a code or you can add a text as well. So if you want to add a text, then you can add it. So or you can add code as well. So let me, so this let's add um, basic or variables and uh, data types data types uh, data types. Okay, so here is this, and you can just shift it above. So now we have one section. So now we created one section that is for variable and data type. Now I can write here code. Let me add some code. uh, you can connect your environment from here. Just click to connect, or you can just when I will write code and execute this code, so this environment will be connected automatically. So automatically disk will be assigned, automatically RAM will be assigned to it and everything. So let me just write a variable name, that is name, and add a value. Let's suppose Rahul. In Python, as we program in JavaScript, so we need not to just assign a variable name, variable data type of variable. It will automatically assign get the type of it. Let's suppose here I have written name is equal to Rahul, so it will automatically take data type as a string. So now let's run this command. So to you can see here that there are two ways to just run the code. Either you can just press a shortcut, that is control plus enter, or you can click this button as well. So in shortcut also we have two shortcuts. One is control plus enter, that will run this cell, particular cell, and one we have shift plus enter, that will run this cell and it will add one more cell for this, I mean to write code. You can also add code from here, that is control plus M plus B. So this is also a shortcut. So now let me run the code, just clicking on it here. So once I click here, you just notice this section, it will start initializing the environment. Okay, so let's click here, and as you can see the allocating, then connecting, then it will come initializing, and now it is connected. So now you can see here we have RAM and disk. Okay, status is okay. So here you can see that we have total 12.72 GB of RAM, and out of which we have 0.79 GB, and also we have disk, that is 1.7.77 GB, and out of which 28 GB disk is utilized. Because Google Colab use has some inbuilt libraries for Python, so that we'll see in later chapters, so that consume your disk. Okay, so now we can see that uh, this code has been executed but nothing is displayed here. Okay, so now let me add code from here, or let me write control M plus B. Okay, so here you can see that new cell added. So let me just print the value, print and name. Now I am pressing control plus enter. So let me press control plus enter, and you can see that it is showing some intelligence like about this method, like print the value to stream or to sys.std out by default, and these kind of things. So let's not waste time, just press control plus enter here, and you can see the output, that is Rahul is printed here. Now let me just show you the type of this variable, type of name. This coding is very easy in Python. So I'm just writing type here. So now I'm shifting, I'm using key like shift plus enter, so it will execute this command and add a new value, new row. Now you can see here the type is string. Okay, now let me add one more variable, or let's just replace this. Let's say name is equal to 1. Okay, now let me write first print name, then type of name. So what this will do, we know that name is of string type and it has value Rahul. Now when I will execute this command, this code cell, so now name will have value as 1, then it will print name and it will show the type as integer. So here you can see the output, that is name is equal to 1, then we have type is as integer. So let's try one more time. Let's add one more row here, and now let's change the value to 1.5. Okay, now let me scroll down. Okay, and let's run it, and you'll see the type should be float. Okay, the name is equal to 1.5, so it printed the value of name, that is 1.5, and it is showing the type as float. So I think we are pretty much clear here, like how we can define your variable and how data type is assigned to the variable name. Okay, so I think we are good for now. Thank you. This section we will learn about more basic commands in Python. So in last lesson, you learn about variables. So let's uh, see few more commands and try to understand this environment. Okay, so let me add a cell first and add a command ls. So ls, as we all know, that this will do a listing. I mean, it will show a current folder. So let me just run this, and okay, if you can see the output here, we are in sample data folder. So ls basically it will display your current folder in which you are right now. Okay, now let's see like from where this sample underscore data folder is. So here you can see that we have a table of content, code snippet, and files. So if you'll see in table of content, you have sections. In code snippet, we have different codes. I mean, these are the code snippet that you can add to your Python programming. So here you can see the list of code is here. So we will see in later videos, or maybe this is out of our scope right now. But just for an overview, this will add a code snippet to your program. And here is the third tab that has your sample data. So here you can see that folder sample data is here. So let me, and below it is also showing the disk space. I mean, total 79.77 GB available and 28.01 is consumed. So let me show you what is inside sample data folder. Okay, so here you can see we have readme.md, that ans combination, then we have few csv files. These can be used for machine learning trainings. So you can see that mnist test.csv, then mnist train underscore small .csv. So these things are provided by your Google Colab. So you can add any data set and you can use in your program. So this is also, I mean, out of scope for right now. So let me add a section. So this we can test. Okay, so it will create a new section here. So let me just leave it as this, and just, so now you can see that we have a new section. Okay, so inside this section you see that we have code and text. So you can add code or you can add text here. So let me add code. Okay, so let's write anything. Let's suppose I is equal to 1. Okay, just run this. So here you have something. Let's suppose I'm writing print I. Okay, so here it is. So now everything what you are writing here, so this come under this section. You can just hide it as well. You can see that one cell is hidden. Just let's add one more code line here. Okay, let's suppose j equal to 3. Okay, and now you have two lines. So Let's hide it. Now you can see that two cells hidden. So basically the purpose to show this section is that you can create your own sections and you can just categorize your code according to your need. Like you saw above that there is no section, we only added code and your text, everything. But now here you can see that you have a structure a section in a structured way, so that you can add as many code here and you can just structure it. You can add one more section from here. Okay, so now we can see that we have new section, that is new section. Okay, I can add one more section here. Let's add it. Okay, right now because my cursor was there, so that's why it is showing that. Let me write. Let's write uh, variable section. Okay, now you can see here that we have a variable section, and now 5 cells hidden. Now we have 2 sections. So you can just structure your code in sections so that it can be more readable, like you can see this way. So I think we are good here, and from next lecture we will just dig into more code, like we'll see if condition and looping and all things. I think we are good here. Thank you. In this video you will learn just performing some arithmetic operation. Okay, so let's create one more section from here so that we can just categorize this. Let's add a section here and write it uh, arithmetic operation section. Okay, so here we have now new section here. Okay, now let's add code. Let me define few variables. Let's say a is equal to 5, b equal to, let's say, 2, and c equal to a plus b. Okay, now let me print a and print b, uh, print c. Let's say what is the output. Okay, you can see that 5, 2 and 7. So this was simple. Now let me show like print a equal to this. Now let me show this. Okay, now you can see that when I try to print like a equal to a, so now it is throwing an error. Okay, so what is the error? So most is and call last, you can see here must be string and not integer. It is throwing error because this is string and this is integer. It is not able to just print it. Okay, so now let's try like this. I'll show you the new way of printing it. Just write a comma here. Okay, now you can see here the print the value to this, and here you can see that this is the way. And this thing I wanted to highlight, like in Python you can print more values at a time. Just use separated by comma. So here you can see that I have just printed a string value, then I separated by comma, and then I just printed a integer value. So let me see this. Okay, now you can see here a and 5. So a is equal to 5. Now this you can also write like this, like b c. See here. Okay, we'll just delete it or just leave it here. Okay, now let's see the output. Now you can see here that a is 5, b is 2, and c is 7. Okay, let me just redefine it like this so that every variable look alike. I mean, like this. Oh, so we saw like how we can print more variables in a single print with a single print command, or you can print like this as well. Now it will print one by one, like a is equal to b, a is equal to 5, b is equal to 2, and c is equal to 7. So arithmetic operation is very simple in Python. You can just add one more. Here I am writing like, let's change it. Okay, or just write it, just change the value to okay, leave it. Just click here, and now you'll see the value like a is equal to 5, b is equal to 2, and c is equal to 3. Okay, now let me try multiply. Okay, a, b, and here it is, multiply. So this is very simple, and just with one more, that is divide. So these are the basic arithmetic operation, okay, that you can use in your code. Okay, so I think we are done for this lecture. In next lecture we will see more arithmetic operation or things like that. So thank you. This video we will learn about advanced arithmetic operations. In last video you learn doing some basic arithmetic operation like plus, minus, multiply, divide. So in this video we will learn about, I mean, doing some like square, this kind of things. So let's add a code here. So now just let's add one more code cell. Okay, and let's suppose I'm using p equal to here I want to just calculate the square of a. So for to calculating a square I will just write like double star. So in previous section I show you like to calculate, I mean, for multiplication we use single star like we do everywhere in other programming languages like a star b, so it will multiply the values. And now we are just trying to calculate a square of this, so I will write 2 star and then I will write here 2. Okay, now let's print it. So let's print B and let's see what is the result of it. So it should show like a is equal to 5, so it should show 25. Okay, this is very easy in Python. So you can see the output is 25. Similarly, if you want to calculate, let's suppose cube of it, so this is also very simple. Let me just copy it. Okay, and let me create one more code snippet here, and now let's do some changes here. To calculate cube of a, we just need to write here like this: a double star and 3, so it will calculate as 125. Here it is. So it was very simple. Okay, now let me show you this as well. I mean, if I write 1 star like a and multiply by 2, it should give you 10. Okay, and if I just write double star, so it is calculating square and it will give you 25. Similarly, here if you just write a star 3, so it should give you 15, and if I write double star 3, then it will calculate the cube of a. Okay, similarly you can find any kind of, let's suppose I'm writing 4, then it should calculate 125, 625. So here you go. So this is very easy in Python. Okay, so I think we are good to go here. I mean, we are done with it. uh, Thank you. Before we move ahead, let's do a small recap. So in last videos you learned how to set up Google Colab. We also learn few basic Python concepts like creating variables, using those variables, then creating sections, then we did some basic arithmetic operations like plus, minus, then we calculated squares, cube, and we saw all these things. We learned about how to setting up, I mean, connecting your Google Colab and things. Okay, now in this sections, in coming sections, you will learn about something, conditioning and looping. So first of all, let me just these things. Okay, oh, all right, and let me add new section here. Okay, let me add a code snippet first. I will add a new section for your, let's add a new section and name it conditioning and looping. Okay, this will be our section, and let's add code section. So in this section we will learn about how we can do conditioning like if and else, and then later we'll learn looping using for loop and while loop. Let's write a simple code for if condition. In Python, uh, every line is separated by colon if you are adding some condition and things, so you need to put colon here, and after that you must be concerned about spacing. Okay, so let me create a variable, let's say age is equal to 20, and after that I will write a condition like if age is greater than equal to 18. Now let's add a colon here. Okay, so it will go to next line, and it will, you can see that Google Colab is automatically considering taking care of your spacing. So now print, let's say you can vote. Okay, press enter. Now else print you cannot, you cannot vote. So it's a simple if condition. Okay, now let's run this, and because we have taken age as 20, so it should print, it should print a output as you can vote. See, now let's change the age to less than 18. Let's say 17. Oops, 17, and output should produce that you cannot vote. Let's execute this code, and here you go. So you can see that you cannot vote. So this is pretty simple, like adding if and else condition. So let's see an example of multiple if conditions. Okay, let's add more conditions. Let's suppose is let's say 19. Okay, now what I want to write is if oh, if is greater than 18, print you are eligible for, eligible to vote. Else if, okay, I'm writing else if condition here. Else if is equal to 17, let's print you are just about to get this benefit. Else print you have to wait for more time. Now let's execute this. So here you can see that you are eligible for vote. Now let's check 17, and you are just about to get this benefit. If your age is, let's say 15 or 16, something below 17, then you should see you have to wait for more time. So you can just achieve multiple multi if conditions using elif. Okay, and then everything is same. So I think we are good for this lecture, and in next lecture we will see looping. Okay, so thank you. In this video we will learn about for loop. Okay, one thing I want to highlight that you can see here that all changes saved. So Google Colab automatically saved whatever you are writing, so you need not to save your changes. I mean, you can see that I have use same notebook that I use for previous sections, and all changes are saving automatically. I am not doing anything. So this is also a benefit of your Google Colab. So now let me add a new section here. I mean new code section, and there I will demonstrate how to use for loop. Okay, so let me write like for uh, I in now I want to increment this thing for 5 times, so I will say I in range and 5. And just to mention that now you can see this better because I have just increased the zoom. Okay, so now let's write it for I in range, this colon, same as previous as we did in if. Now let's print and oh, I. Okay, now let's see the output. So now you can see here that it has printed from 0 to 4. Okay, now sorry, now let's assume that you want to print from 1, not from 0. Okay, so for that we need to see that what range has. Okay, so uh, let me like this. Now you can see here range can take two values. Okay, one is args and other is keywords. So let me put here like this, and here I can write 5. Okay, now it should start from 1 to 5. You can see here that it says return an object that produce a sequence of integer from start, okay, inclusive to stop exclusive. Means that it will include 1 but it will not include 5. So if you want to print a value from 1 to 5, you have to put range 1 comma 6. Okay, so here you can see that range I comma j produces I plus 1, I plus 2 until j minus 1. Okay, and if you don't write I, so it takes default to 0 that we demonstrated in this few minutes ago. Okay, now let me show this to you. It should show value from 1 to 4. So here you go. You can add multiple print as well. Let me write I, then let me do some arithmetic operation. Let's suppose I star star 2. Okay, so it should print your oh wait, something gone wrong here. Okay, let me do like this. Okay, okay, I thought it's something new, but it's not new. We are printing 2 times, so that's why first it is taking 1 and then it is doing this. Okay, I thought it's all right. So I think we are good for today. So we saw like how we can implement for. Okay, next section, in next lecture we will see about uh, while loop. Oh, thank you. In this video we will learn about implementing while loop. Okay, so in last video you saw like how we implemented for loop, and here is this. we are working on same notepad, I mean notebook here. You can see for loop here. Okay, now let's add one more code snippet. So okay, now let's add a while loop here. For while loop we need to initiate a variable first, and then we will add conditioning. So let me write I is equal to, let's say, 0. Okay, then after that I will write while and then conditioning. It's simple, like as we do in other languages as well. Now let's say while less than 5 and print I. Okay, let's run this. Oh, I didn't, sorry, I just didn't incremented that. Okay, so I have to increment it as well. So let's suppose I is equal to plus 1. Okay, now let's run it. So here you go. Now you can see that, I mean, while start from 0, and we added condition that if I is less than 5 then it should print, and after that we are incrementing it. So you can see here output 0 to 4. Okay, here I want to highlight one thing that uh, like we do in other languages like in C# or Java, this will not work. So if you write syntax like I++, it works in Java and C sharp, but it will not work in Python. So let's see, it should show you syntax error. Okay, uh, invalid syntax. So for that you need to write like I plus equal to and 1. You can give any value here. Let's say I plus equal to and 2. So it will increment by 2 values. So you can see here 0, 2 and 4. So I believe that this was easy. Okay. So in next sections we will see more. So thank you. So before we move ahead, let's do a quick recap. So far we learned how to set up Google Colab. Then we learned few basic Python concepts like adding variables. Then we learned how to do some arithmetic operations. Then added conditions. Then looping, I mean for loop and while loops. So these were basic Python concepts. So from now onward, we will do some advanced uh, concept. Okay, we will learn advanced concepts. So before we go ahead, let's see how to just reuse your code. I mean, till now, what we have added, whatever we code added, this was in a raw format. Like if we want to reuse, I need to just copy it. So it was a kind of duplicacy of code. So now to overcome that, we will see how we can create methods and reuse those methods in our upcoming program. So let's add a code snippet here. Let's control MB. Okay. Now let me define a method. So for defining a method, we will use a keyword def, then method name. Let's say add, just add a simple method here, and variable, let's suppose variable a and b. Okay, now colon and return a plus b. Okay, so this is your method. Now let's try to just call it. Let me write 3 and 4 here, and just execute this. Okay, so you should see 7 as output. Okay, you can also just use this method because this is returning, so you can assign the value of method to a variable. So let's create a variable and try to see it. Let's create a variable of like sum equal to add, and let's say 5 6. Okay, and now print sum. Should show you 11, I guess. So I believe we are good so far. Now let's do a little more. Like I print, I'm writing sum and sum. Okay, so let's see. Okay, now you can see that it is showing sum is equal to 11. So I think we are good here, and we saw how to create a method and how we can call this method like this. Okay, and we also saw how to assign the method value or method output to a variable and use that variable to print, or in your other methods and so on. You can use this in other methods as well. So I think so we are good here. Thank you. Before we start to advance concept in Python, I thought to have one more demonstration. In last video we saw how to create a method of that has return type. Okay, so here you can see that in last video we saw like how we created a method and that had a return type. So we created an add method and it returned a value. Now let's create one more method which has no return type. What we call as void. Let's define one more method here. This is a simple method. I'm just not doing anything special here. Define, let's suppose, display, and now let's copy code. Let's say for loop or while loop. Okay, so here we have while loop, so I'm just copying it here. Okay, and I'm just pasting it to this method. As I said before, I'm not doing anything special here. I'm just demonstrating you how we can create a method which has no return type. Here as you can see that I created a method display where I'm just writing a simple logic, while logic, and printed the value here. Okay, so let's call our method. So let's call display here. Okay, I think let's do indentation and execute the code. It should only show the output like we saw earlier. It started from 0, incremented with 2, and it executed till 5. So 0, 2, and 4. So now you are able to create two kind of methods. One has return type and one has no return type. Void. So far we are good here. And from next section, what I think we will see how to do. We will see few advanced concept. So thank you. Okay, so far we learned basic Python concept. We went through basic arithmetic operations, then if else conditions and looping and all things. Now let's see how we can work with list and dictionary. Okay, so let's add a code section here. So I'm just adding a code section. I have already created a section for list and dictionary. So I have already explained like how we can create a section in Google Colab. Okay, now I'm just adding a new code section here. and let me add few variables. Let's say name1 is equal to Rahul, then name2 is equal to, let's say, John. Okay, and now let me create a list. For that I'm just adding a variable, let's say name list. Okay, now let's add a list here. Let's say name list, and then I'll create an array type and I'll add these variables here. Okay, so name1 and name2. Now let's see the type first. Okay, then we'll see. Let's write type, then name list. Okay, and also okay, just first see the type here. So you can see here the type is list. Okay, now let's add one more code block here and let's print it. Let's print the list, print name list. So let's execute this code and it should show me Rahul and John. Okay, so here you can see that your list has been printed and it is showing two names, Rahul and John. Now let me create one more list and which contain different different type of variables, data types. For that I will use name1 from above, and let me create one more variable for, let's say, contact, and let me add 9999. Okay, let me create one more list, let's say employee list, and add name1, then name2 and contact. Okay, so the type should be name. Okay, and employee list, and let me print it as well. So it should print all the values. So print employee list. Okay, so when this code block run, so it should show type as list and it should print all the values. So let's execute it, and here you can see that it has printed Rahul, then John, and the contact 9999. I think so far we are good here. So I will end this video here. Okay, so thank you. In last video we see how to create a list. So in last video we created list. You can see that we created a list and we saw like how to see the types, and we've printed value in the list. Okay, so now let's perform some basic operations like getting value from list and things like that. Okay, so let me just add a code block again, and I will use same list that I created in last video. So let me print employee. I am taking employee list, okay, because it has 3 value. So employee list, and let's say let me print first one. Okay, so just execute the code and it should print Rahul because it is on the first position. So here you can see that it has printed Rahul. You can print more values, like if you want to print more items in the list, so you can print that as well. So for that I can do like this. Let's say print, then employee list, and let me print from first to second. Okay, so what I can do is I can just do like this, then I'm writing first to 2. Okay, so let me execute it, and here you can see that it only printed John, not 999. Why? Because it exclude this one. Okay, so it will include first, so it include first element, like it starts from 0, so it will take 0, 1 and 2. So what it is doing, it is taking first element, okay, this one, but it is excluding this position. I mean, what it will take, it will 2 minus 1. Okay, so upper bound will be 2 minus 1, that is 1. So that's why it printed only John. So if you want to print like John and this contact number, so you have to write like something like it will start from 1 and it will end 2 plus 1, that is 3. Okay, now it should print John and 999. So this we have seen earlier also, like in Python it takes whenever we talk about indexes, so it take upper bound as n minus 1. So it doesn't take nth position, I mean it take n minus 1. So if I wanted to print second position, so I write it 3, so it means 3 minus 1, that is 2. So I think we are clear here. Okay, so now let me do more thing, or let me end here, let me do end here. Okay, and we will perform more action in next section. Thank you. Okay, so in last video we see how to get the value from list. Okay, and now in this section let's try some modification. I mean, let's modify the list. Okay, so for that I'm just creating one more code section, and let me do one thing. Let's write employee list. Okay, and first position is equal to let's say Kumar. Okay, now just execute it, and now let me just print the employee, print employee list. So what it should do, because as we have updated the item in employee list, so it should show me updated one. Okay, so ideally it should show Rahul, then Kumar, and then the phone number, because I have replaced John with Kumar, so that's why it is showing Rahul here, then Kumar here, and 999 here. Okay, so now let me do one more thing. Let me write like this, employee list, and let me change contact number as well. So let's say 9090. Okay, and print employee list. Okay, so now it should update contact number as well. So here you can see that it has updated contact number. So just updating this is very easy. Okay, in next section we will see how to copy a list. Thank you. So before we start, I just forgot one thing. Let me show how we can find the length of your list. Okay, I can simply use len method. Okay, this is inbuilt method, and you can write employee list, then it should show length, like here length should be 3. Okay, so now let's just add one more code list, and I want to copy employee list into another list. So let's say I am writing here employee list copy is equal to employee list. Okay, now it should copy the items from employee list into employee list copy. One thing I want to highlight here, that by default it is shallow copy. So if you change the primary list, it should reflect in secondary list as well. Okay, so this we will see in some time. Okay, so let me print this first. Okay, let me just write employee list copy here, and it should show me like Rahul Kumar and this. Okay, now what I was talking about, like let me just modify employee copy now. Okay, so let me write like employee list copy, and let me change first item, let's say John. Okay, now if you print it, so now let's print first employee list, then copy. So it should show me updated value. So this is obvious that it will show updated value here. Okay, here is the updated value. Now the point is that what I said, that it is a shallow copy. Now if I print employee list, so it should also show me the same. Okay, so here you can see that when I change a copy of employee list, so it changed the original value. So this is an example of shallow copy. Now the point is, there is one more concept, that is deep copy, and which means that when you change any child list, so it should not reflect in your parent. Okay, and vice versa. So how we can do that? So you can do it by using by this way. Okay, let me create one more. Let's say employee list copy. Okay, so let me write here like list. Okay, then let me write the let me take employee list and copy here. Now it will just add a copy, I mean it will just copy the items from employee list copy into this list, employee list copy, but this will be a deep copy. Okay, so let me create this first, and let me first print employee list copy. Okay, let me print employee list copy, so it will show me like both the list. Okay, first of all let me show both the list, and then we will see. Okay, now you can see here that both the list has same values, I mean same items. Okay, now let me just change the value in
let's say employee list copy. Let's say first item is equal to Rahul. Okay, now the thing is that when I do this, it should just modify employee list copy, but but it should not change the value in employee list copy. I mean, it should not change the parent list. Okay, so let me do it, print it again. So let me just copy from here. Okay, and let me just paste it. Let me paste it. So I'm just saving some time. Okay, so now you should see a different list. Okay, now you can see that I have changed the first item from employee list copy. Okay, and I changed the value to Rahul. So as you can see here, okay, Rahul, but the original list, I mean the parent list, that was employee list copy, that had John. Okay, so you can see here it had John, so this value hadn't changed. Okay, so now you see the both the types like shallow copy and deep copy. Okay, so I think I'm good here, and so I will end this video. Thank you. So far we have seen, I mean, many concept in list. Okay, so we tried many things with our list. So let me do one more thing. Let me try to demonstrate like how we can merge two lists. Okay, so here you can see that we have two lists. Okay, so we have employee list copy and we have employee list copy. So I'm just trying to merge both the list. Okay, so for merging this, what I am doing it, I am only just take one more list. Okay, that is let's name it merged employee list equal to employee list copy and plus employee list copy. Okay, so by doing this, what I am trying to do, I am just merging both the list, I mean employee list copy and plus employee list copy. Okay, so it will merge both the list into one new list, that is merged employee list. So let print it as well. Okay, so merged and employee list. Now let's execute this. Okay, now just press control plus enter, and now you can see here that employee list copy had three items, that was John, Kumar and the contact number, and employee list copy it also had three items, that is Rahul, Kumar and the contact number. Okay, now your merged employee list has 6 items. Okay, so you can just check the length as well. Okay, so merged employee list, so it should show you like 6. Okay, so here you can see that the length is 6. Okay, so I think I will we are just good here, and we see many things about list, so I will end this video here. Okay, thank you.
So before let's move ahead, let's do a quick recap of what we did in last section. So in last section we saw how to work with list. Okay, now in this section we will see few more concepts like tuples, set and dictionary. So just let's add a section here for tuple, then set, and let's say dictionary. Dictionary section. So in this section we will learn about these things. Okay, so now let me add a code block here, and let's see one by one. Okay, so first of all, see what is tuple. So uh, both, I mean, all these three, like tuple, set, and dictionary, are uh, kind of list, but has uh, different features, like different properties, you can say. Like if you talk about tuple, so it is same as list, but this is read only. I mean, we can only assign a value once, but we cannot change the value. Okay, so same way if we talk about set, so this is also similar to tuple, as it also don't allow values again and again, so it is also read only. But apart from read only, it has one more property, like this contains unique value as well. Okay, so both tuple and set are more or less similar, but just have a little difference. Like set contain unique values, and tuple may contain unique or non-unique values as well. And if you know about other languages, so you would know that dictionary is uh, a dictionary maintain a key value pair, where you have a key, and for that key there will be a value. So dictionary is different than this tuple and set. So I think we are good here. So in next section we will see practical example of tuple, sets, and dictionary. Okay, thank you. Now to start the tuple, let's create a list first. So let me add my list is equal to, let's say, Rahul and 9999. Okay, then let's see the type of it, my list. Okay, and let's execute the code here, and you can see that your type is list. Now to create a tuple, sorry, let me add it from here. So now to create a tuple, let me add another variable, let's say my tuple, and it's equal to, there is a math function called tuple, and using this you can convert your list into tuple. Okay, so let's say my list. Okay, now once you convert this into tuple, so what will be done, like it has a property, like you will not be able to change the value. So let me see the type first. So my tuple here. Okay, and the type should be tuple, and let's print the value as well, like my tuple, so it should print the values. Okay, all right, let me print list as well, my list, and here you can see. So now you can see the difference. Okay, so tuple start with, you can see the difference, like tuple start with this bracket and list start with this bracket. Okay, so you can see the difference in both. Now let me try to just change a value. So let's say I want to write like, first of all let's print and my tuple, let's say 0 position. Okay, so it is showing correct. And now let me just try to assign a value. Let me try to write like my tuple 0 is equal to John. Okay, now it should not let me add value. So here you can see that it is throwing error. So it is saying that tuple object doesn't support item assignment. So as we stated earlier as well, like tuple is read only and you can only assign a value once. So now we have a value already assigned, so now you cannot change the value. So I think we are good here. Okay, thank you. So in last section we learned about tuple and we saw how tuple works. Okay, so now in this section we will see about set. So let me add uh, one more list. Let's say I'm just uh, let's say write my list new is equal to, let me write uh, let's say write Rahul, then 9999 and 9999. Okay, so now you'll see that now I have a list here. Okay, and let's print it as well. So my list and new. Okay, now your list has 3 items but 2 are duplicate. Okay, and as we stated that set can only have unique values. So ideally what it should do, like when I convert this list into set, so it should automatically delete the values, I mean delete your duplicate values. So let me see, so that okay, for to convert your list into set, so let's use a method called, let's say my set is equal to, there is a method called set, and now just add it, my list new. Okay, so it will convert list into uh, set. Now let me show you the type here, set. Okay, so it should show me like this type is set. Okay, now let's print it as well, and as we know that it should only print non-unique values, so it should print like Rahul and 9999. Okay, and as same as tuple, we should not be able to just modify the value. So if I write like my set and 0 is equal to John, so it should throw me an error. So here you can see that I have an error like object does not support item assignment. So I think we are good here, and we know now about tuple and set. Okay, thank you. Okay, so far we are good, and we now know about tuple and set. So in this section we will cover about we will see like how we can work on dictionaries and what is dictionary. So to create a dictionary we just use curly braces, and we will use key and value pair. Okay, so let me add like my dictionary, my dictionary. Let's initialize it. So this is we can say like this is a dictionary. Okay, now let's see the type of it. My dictionary, and it should show me like dictionary. Okay, now let's try to add some value here, and my dictionary, let's say name, and name would be, let's say like Rahul. Then let me add one more key pair like my dictionary, then contact equal to 9999. Okay, so now I created two key value pair. Okay, one is name and one is contact. So let's try to print my dictionary. It should show me like a relation between like a relation like name is equal to Rahul, then contact is equal to 99 like we have in JSON format. Okay, so you can see here like as we have in JSON format, we follow same format in JSON as well. So if you are aware about JSON, so you have key and there you have value. Okay, now you have key, then you have value, and this is separated by a colon. So you can see that we have two key value pair. One is name is equal to Rahul, and other is contact is equal to 9999. So now let's try to fetch the value. Okay, like my dictionary, then let's say name. Okay, print, let's print the value. Okay, and it should show me the value as Rahul. Let's try one more like my dictionary and contact, so it should print me contact value, that is 9999. Okay, so you can see that value has printed. So I think we are good here. Thank you. uh, Before we move to this section, let's do a quick recap like what we did in last sections. So in last few sections we saw about basic of Pythons, then we worked on with list, Then in large section we work with tuple, set, and dictionary. So all you can see here, everything is in same Jupyter notebooks. So you can see here we have variable section, then we have arithmetic operation section. Okay, then we have conditioning, looping. Then we learned like how to define a method. Then we worked with list and dictionary, and after that we learned about list. Then last section we learn about tuple, set, and dictionaries. Okay, now let's create one more section here and just name it as, okay, let me add a section here, not there. Let's just name it as, like in this section we are going to learn about uh, importing packages and class. Now in this section we will learn how to we can create a class and how we can import inbuilt package from Python. Okay, so now let's name it as section. Okay, so now let's add code here, or I think we are good here, and we will cover this in next section. Thank you. In this video we will see like how we can import package in Python. So we all know that Python is open source and there are tons of packages, inbuilt packages, and uh, customized package created by many developers and or by communities. So let's uh, try to import a package. Let's try to import a simple package like we have a math package for mathematical operation. So let's try adding that. For that we have a keyword like import, then let's say math, and just add an alias. So this way we can add a package in Python. So this will add a package math, and now we can work with that. So this has various method. So let's say I'm just calculating some factorial. So let's suppose math dot factorial, and let's say 5. Okay, so here you can see that factorial of 5 will be 120. Let's calculate one more, like factorial, let's say simple factorial like of 3, so it should be 6, I guess. Here you go. So like this we have many methods and you can use from package, and you can see the package detail on internet as well, like uh, particular package what all methods that contains, like you can see everything in on internet, like in git or other repository. So I think I'm done here. Okay, thank you. Okay, so before we start and we create a class, let me show you one more thing. Like if you remember, we in last section, I mean in where we were doing some arithmetic operation, we saw like many kind of arithmetic operation. So now as we know that we have imported, now we know like how to import a package. So let uh, do one more arithmetic operation. Like we have a method for square root. There if we can calculate square root of value. Okay, so this thing I left in that section intentionally and wanted to cover when we create a package. Now we know like how to import package, so we can do this. Though we in last section we saw few method, like we saw how to call factorial. So let's call the square root method as well. So it should show me 2. Okay, so now you are able to calculate square root of uh, a value as well. So now I think let's create a class. Okay, so now just add a code block here and we will create a class. So to create a class we have a keyword, that is class, and let's say my class name is my class. Okay, and let's add a colon here and now define a method. So we will use existing method that we demonstrated in while we were showing like how to defining method section. So let me just find it here. Oh, it is not. So we will take this method. Let's just copy it and just add it here. So let's do some indentation. Okay, so now we have a class. Okay, just execute it. So we have created a class. Now we will create an object of that class. Let's say object my class equal to my class. Now I can call this method from my class object. So object my class dot add, and let's say 5 and 6. Okay, let's execute it and let's execute it as well. Okay, so here you can see that you have a few errors. I mean you encountered an error. So that is add takes 2 positioned argument but 3 were given. Okay, so now you can see here that whenever you have an error you have an option to search internet. So you can click here and you can go to internet and search the relative posts. Okay, but here we know like what is the problem. So we will simply just add a reference of this class. So we add reference using self keyword. Okay, now let's execute it again and create an object, and now just run this. So now it should show me like 11. So I think we are good here. So in this section we learned like how to create a class. We added a method into class, then we created an object, and finally we call a method. Okay, here is the method we call. So I think we are good here. Thank you. So I think we have covered a lot of things in this uh, course. So you started from Google Colab. You know now what is Google Colab. Then we started from various like basic concepts like creating variables, then doing some arithmetic operation. Then we saw like how to work with conditions, then defining method. Then we also saw like how to work with list, dictionary, tuple, set, and we saw like how to import a package and how to create a class, how to create an object, and how to call a method of a class. Okay, so all these things we learned. So I think we have basic knowledge of Python, and we are ready to boost ourselves. Okay, so uh, I will end here, and if you like this course, so I will request to just add your reviews, add comment, just share this with your friends, and show your love. Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you.